Hey.
Hi.
Hey, here's to our morning coffee. Cheers.
I'm not going to tell you actually how many cups this is. It's more than one. It's fine. Everything's fine.
So I miss you. I feel like we got to see each other and play some gigs, and it was really fun. And then all this crap hit the fan. So
Yeah, that was the last one. That was the last gig right before quarantine happened and the world shut down.
oh my
It
God.
was a gig with them.
You've been working a little bit though down in Jersey recently, right? You've had a couple of gigs before the weather started getting cold.
Yeah, no, I've been one of the blessed ones. I think I play with a band in the summertime along on the Jersey Shore. And that season, although it initially got entirely canceled when everything kind of blew in, actually ended up picking back up and having a decent run of things, all outdoors, all socially distanced, and actually ended up being a lot of fun. We played pretty much all summer, those type of gigs, and I just played the last one a couple weeks ago.
I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you guys were able to kind of like resuscitate the season. There was like a weird little pop-up of like outdoor wedding gigs that happened with like tiny little crews of people, like 25 people,
Yeah.
but they still wanted like the big wedding. And I was like, wow, okay, cool.
I know. I think I played all of 2 weddings this summer, 2, and they were like for, like very intimate, immediate family, but they still wanted some music or some event.
For those people who don't know you as well as I do, who are not lucky like I am, tell me a little bit just about your journey and how you came to be a freelance and violin player.
I started playing the violin when I was 4 years old, under the instruction of my mom. I actually really loved it. I remember even before she officially started giving me lessons, I would follow her around. She gave me a little toy violin and I would just pretend to play. I tried to emulate her, which I still do. But yeah, she taught me everything I know. She was my first and only teacher all the way up and until college. Yeah, which is a feat in and of itself on her part, mostly because God bless that woman. She has infinite patience and got me into college, the Hartt School of Music, where then I studied with Emlyn Ngai, who's a phenomenal teacher. He plays in Philly too with the Tempesta di Mare. It's a Baroque orchestra. But that was awesome. So those were my 2 like pedagogy experiences with my mom, and then she passed the baton and pursued a degree in violin performance from the university. And then pretty much right out of the gate, I graduated. I went back to Philadelphia, where I was from, and kind of shamelessly rode my mom's coattails on the music scene there. It was so fun. We played for several years. We played all these gigs together, stand partners, like literally. And that was just
that's awesome.
The most amazing experience really to do that. Like, I started branching off into doing some non-classical work as well at that time. I met a few bands. My first band was an Irish band. They were looking for a fiddler. I was like, I can do that. I can play Bach. I can play a jig or 2. So I learned about, I don't know, a few hundred Irish fiddle tunes one St. Patrick's Day, and that was the beginning of the end for me. We had so many great colleagues at Hartt that played alternative music. Jason Anick, phenomenal jazz violinist, and Ben Dean, our buddy, played bluegrass and so many other styles. And that stuck with me, because while I focused primarily on classical music when I was in college, I was so intrigued by the idea that violin could be such a versatile instrument. Mm-hmm. I guess prior to that, I had never really thought of the violin being in a rock band or a, bluegrass, yes, but like so many other styles that you can just literally just take on the lead instrument part.
Yeah.
So that stuck with me. So when these opportunities kind of popped up, while they intimidated me at first, being a classically trained musician, it was something that I knew I had to dig deeper into and get into. So I did. The rest is history. So I played one St. Patrick's Day run with this band, and it was so much fun. We drank Guinness by the pitcher, and it was I was the only, and as always, I'm the only girl in the band, because with most other alternatives, that's how it ends up being.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to keep up with these guys, and I learned so many tunes, and I was so proud of myself. Like I knew like over 4 hours worth of Irish tunes. I'm like doing good. So I went to my first session, and I was so stoked to go to my first Irish session, little jam in an Irish pub. I walked in like thinking I was gonna rip rip something. Didn't know a single tune. Not a single tune that played that. Like how do I not know these? And it's not the same where like you can just kind of go up and jam along. They want you to know the tune.
Oh yeah.
Like note for note.
Well, so I had a weird experience where I started playing bluegrass music, and I didn't know any tunes, right? And I was playing with this singing band. I was playing with this band where they were like singing original materials. So I didn't have anybody to like shove the traditional stuff down my throat. You know, they didn't like give me the list and say like, this is the list and you need to learn all these tunes and go listen to like, you know, Bruce Molsky play this tune. Nobody ever did that.
You don't even know where to start.
Right, because it's this huge repertoire. It's like, at least with classical music, people have studied it so much that there's like this really clear progression. And it's like,
and then this.
Even for people who are like not in the know, it's like, oh, well, I get Suzuki Book 1, and that's how I start playing the violin, you know, or I get Essential Elements 2000 Book 1, and that's how I start playing, you know. But like with all of this other stuff, nobody's really quantified it, so it's hard to kind of. But that's like that's the beautiful part of an oral tradition, is not having it quantified. So like I went to a jam, I remember, in 2011 in the summer, and I like had just started playing bluegrass music, and this was like the year after I left Hartt, and went to this jam, and I could like play in the key, and I could play the changes because I played enough jazz and enough rock music to know like how it is. But I had there was no style. I was just like,
all the notes, all at the same time.
All the notes at the same time. I remember this like grizzly old Gus of a fiddle player named Doc Pollock, who's since passed away, but later we became great friends. We were not friends at that moment. He came and just like stood in front of me at the jam. He literally just walked around me and like stood in front of me. And then like I kept trying to like take a break. And he came up to me afterwards. He's like, you need to learn some tunes. And he reached into his back pocket and he had like his list of tunes that he knew. And he gave it to me. And he's like, go home and learn all these tunes. And he didn't say it like in a really nice way, but he wasn't being like crappy. He was just kind of like, yeah, go learn some tunes, please. I view you as a little bit of a barrier smasher because you are successful and you operate within two universes that are traditionally seen as more male dominated universe. You play in rock bands and you work as a engineer. You're a super talented, amazing engineer. And so I see you recording engineer. And I know that that's kind of changing. You know, I know that environment is changing now. But I just think it's really cool that you have sort of found footing in these universes where, you know, there's not a lot of women operating traditionally.
There are not, and especially, I mean, I haven't, I got into the engineering field quite a bit after college, quite a bit after I'd explored some of these genres. I think it's like 2% of the industry of producers and engineers are women. And
that is so
more of a push, like you said lately, to have and incorporate more female technicians, engineers, and producers in the industry, and just be, I think studios, especially like when I was out in LA recently, there's definitely more of a push to be more welcoming.
You do seriously have like such a beautiful technique and such a killer sound, and you just are like, watching you play and getting to play with you is like totally effortless. It's really fun.
I feel the same.
Oh, girl.
Oh, you're making me miss you. This idea is so great. I'm so stoked and honored to be a part of it. So thank you.
Dude, thank you for being on the ball and saying yes to doing the interview. Absolutely. I miss you too. I love you to pieces, and I'll talk to you soon. All right.
talk about boys later.
Absolutely. I'm going to stop recording when we talk about boys, though.